Beep, 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 beep. How are we, good peeps? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and welcome to the Court of the EDI Jester. See my warrior teachers today, and I'm very excited. From down under and the UK, we've got our 6:30 a.m. session. Yes, I'm mad. And I got two more later on today. Brilliant. Gonna see them, see? Want to see them. Some of them are finishing year 2. Year 1? No, year 1 today. Year 1. Which is great news. Subscribe, will you? Beep, beep, beep. Subscribe. You know, do, Betty Boo. And then after I finish this, which I don't think is going to be a long one, it's not going to be a long one, I want you to do some maths. And I want you to work out the figures. And I want you to share this and say, this is how much public money is being wasted. All right? Get your calculators ready. As top civil servants urged to push diversity to get more money. Performance management criteria of being awarded bonuses have been described as perverse and based on an ideological agenda. This is in the Tory graph from Edward Malnick from this morning. There we are, from this morning, 9th of December. All right? It's just telling me it's the 9th of December. Senior civil servants are being encouraged to lead diversity and inclusion schemes in order to be awarded bonus. So they're now saying, do the cult's activity for it and we will pay you more. Link in the Dubras, right? Do the cult's activity and we'll pay you more. Right. Okay. An official document setting out criteria for the performance management of civil servants states that to be eligible for the highest score, members of the civil service must demonstrate that they have made a significant corporate contribution beyond their core roles. Right, so if you're a senior civil servant for steak and kidney puddings, right, over here, right, senior civil servant, right, you old crusty, right, for steak and kidney puddings is over here, okay, senior civil servant for elite bum scraping is over here, right. Now they do the elite bum scraping, they do the steak and kidney puddings. I'm all right with that. Do your damn job. I don't care. Do your damn job, right? Okay. What this is saying is, if you want to get paid more money, in addition to doing that, you've got to start spreading this stuff elsewhere. So you've got to become an ally to the critical social justice warriors in order to spread this infection through the civil service. I know you've got bums to scrape, right? And I know you've got steak and kidney pies to inspect. But just for a moment, think of the BIPOC, look a bit cool people, right? That's what it's saying. I think it's treason. It's no word we don't hear often enough, isn't it? Treason. So what that would include would be work at cross-government functional level, for example, involving leadership of functional initiative on capacity building or diversity and inclusion. A Whitehall source said the criteria created perverse incentives for senior civil servants based on an ideological agenda. You bet it does. People say, what's the blob? This is the blob. This is the blob. Maoism. Yep, this is the blob. Jacob Rees-Mogg, the Mogg, as I call him, a former cabinet minister, said this is a classic bureaucratic box-ticking exercise and is not the right way to be incentivising people. What we need to do in terms of incentives is to ensure that public services are being delivered efficiently. The guidelines drawn up earlier this year and issued in April would mean that senior civil servants working on a particular set of policies, such as migration, would have to carry out work outside their Home Office directorate to be scored as exceeding in their performance reviews, which determine whether they receive an annual bonus. So they are now basing their annual bonuses on infecting the civil service even further with critical social justice, which would include gender ideology, queer theory, critical race theory, and all the diversity and inclusion unconscious bias, bollocks there is. And they'll go, oh, Jacob Rees-Mogg's a hateful man. Yeah, right. He's the only one that's got your interests at heart when it comes to this, my loves. As part of last month's autumn statement, ministers signalled new restrictions on equality, diversity and inclusion spending and activities in Whitehall, including streaming EDI training and HR processes to ensure value for public money. A document released alongside the financial statement said, subject to further work, the government is considering introducing a presumption against external EDI spending and increasing ministerial scrutiny of EDI spending while streamlining EDI training and HR processes with a view to getting value for the taxpayer. Just end it. It has absolutely no function in the civil service. What is the point of it? What is it? Just to end it, you divisive swine. Now, apparently the Minister for the Cabinet Office will be outlining the final proposals in due course. A Cabinet Office spokesman said the Treasury is rightly currently reviewing spending on equality, diversity and inclusion to ensure value for money for the taxpayer. Objectives in senior civil servants' annual appraisals cover various ways they can contribute to strengthening the work of government. This isn't strengthening the work of government, you liars. This is the blob. This is the hard left, you know. That far left, they've got the dildo of leftness stuck to the wall and up their own backside. That's them. This is a state within a state. They want to develop an excellent culture. They've been doing that for 30 years, and I've been teaching them for 30 years. They're not doing it very well, I can tell you, because they want to pit one against the other. It's the usual stuff, right? They want to pit one against the other. A source added that other potential corporate contributions, including identifying cost savings and supporting staff recruitment, adding that none is given a higher priority than others. Mr. Rees-Mogg added, the government is slightly caught because of the terms of the Equality Act, but nonetheless, this is not the government's stated policy. The government's stated policy is to deliver public services. Last month, Rishi Sunak appointed Esther McVey, the former Work and Pensions Secretary, as the new Cabinet Office Minister, billed by Downing Street as the Minister for Common Sense. This is so Brazil, isn't it? Brazil, la 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 la. Tuttle and Buttle, you remember? Aye, scary stuff that. Bit of the old dystopians. So the former Work and Pension Secretary, this is McVey, new Cabinet Officer billed as the Minister for Common Sense. Philip Davis, her husband and former co-presenter on GB News, suggested that her work would involve restricting the amount of money spent on equality and diversity in Whitehall. There's a huge amount of taxpayers' money wasted on this equality, diversity and inclusion thing in national government and local government, he said. There's no doubt she's got her work cut out, because there's a huge blob in there in government who are very keen to keep it going on all this crap, right? Esther, I'm right here. I'm right here, Esther. Last year, research by Conservative Way Forward, a Tory think tank, found that 1 million days a year was spent on the worst equality and diversity training in the public sector. Right, so get your calculator out. 1 million days a year, right? So let's say that's 8 hours of a person's time, and the person is on 20 quid an hour. Work it out for me, will you? All right, work it out for me, will you? That's the first lot. Right, next lot. There's also 10,000 members of staff to deal with EDI-related issues. So let's say 10,000 on 40 grand, right? Work that out, will you? Then add the two numbers together. So I want 10,000 on 40 grand, okay? And 1 million days times 8 hours times 20 quid. Work it out for me. 10,000 members of staff to deal with this bullshit. I despair. See you later.